Okay.
Rahul is a more Sunday clubbish new.
Okay, it's already live.
How slow are you, man?
Okay, everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to what is not the Sunday Club, but I think it'll have the Sunday Club flavor anyway because the usual suspects are on board. And in case you haven't noticed, this is 2023, and we are witnessing the great battle of Surat between Rahul Gandhi and the Surat courthouse. And I'm joined by a very delightful panel who has been tracking the great battle of Surat for a while now. And in fact, Sohail Seth is joining us from Gujarat. And Sandip Ghosh has just returned from my state, Uttarakhand, after that's why he's looking so fresh. But let's dive right into it. And Sohail, what's happening?
Only recently decided to,
Reverberating with
uh,
the battle cries from Surat?
There are no
Advait,
battle cries.
only reason we
the
have
tragedy is that everything Rahul Gandhi does, he makes it come out feeling like a battle. There's no battle. I mean, he had to appear before the court. So much for no, I will not do this, I will not do that. Look, let's face it, Advaita. The due process of law must not escape anyone. It must touch everyone. No one is that self-important or self-obsessed. Number one. Number two, Rahul Gandhi can't make every outing of his, be it to a parlor or to a court, an outing of martyrdom. I mean, for God's sake, you've been convicted by a court. The court has given you the next date of hearing. They've extended your bail. That's it. That's how simple it is. For the media to go nuts and for people to say, oh, look, he was traveling on this Indigo flight and he had all these jokers with him. Of course, he'll have all these people with him. That I have no issues with. But we have to stop making every visit of Rahul Gandhi's as a visit to save democracy. He is not the only savior of India's democracy. If he has violated the laws of this land, he must pay the price. As simple. He cannot be someone who's above the law, although they've been made to feel like that since independence. But that's what I said, Advaita, on your program. This is not that India. This is not the India of entitlement. It's not the India of this Gandhi. It still remains the India of Mahatma Gandhi. But that's how real it is.
Mhm. What did you make of it, Sandeep? What did you make of the big show of strength that the Congress put up? And frankly, for a court appearance, it was a little extra.
no. That's what I was wondering. Is the show of strength against? If it is against the judiciary, there's something very seriously wrong out there, because there is obviously no case against the government because the the government is not directly involved. Even if you but to ascribe there is a government hand in it, but then you're going and making an appearance in court. And if you do believe in the majesty of justice and the rest of it with so many of lawyers, then whom are you showing this strength? Is that to my mind, you should have actually had Advaita today some lawyers on the show who would have said that this, to my mind, as a layman, it almost tantamounts to intimidating the judiciary. If I, as a judge, and that too a judge at a very lower order judiciary, if I have this kind of display of strength and rhetoric and all the rest outside my court, I think it does. And and it's not a matter of kidding. I have spoken to very senior current or former justices who say today media puts a lot of pressure on the justice system as it is. Most of the time they're worried about how that's going to be reflected. But then, if you have such powerful people standing outside a court or in the court to defend a very, very simple, logical bail application, and as Sohail is saying, it's almost like making it out as if this is some order for hanging or something of that kind, then you could understand. But for this, I would think you should check with some of your lawyer friends that this appears to be almost intimidating the judicial system.
And this
Yeah.
family's track record qua the justice has been pretty miserable. Remember what happened with Justice H.R. Khanna and how A.N. Ray superseded? How P.N. Bhagwati wrote a letter of praise to Mrs. Gandhi? I mean, that's why I'm saying, Advaita, this isn't the India of yore. It is an India of ours. The entitlement era is over.
Yep. Geeta Tokus, who claims to be Pallavi Tokus's water buffalo. This
Yes.
family,
See,
Nonsense, yeah,
family
Abhijit.
is
What
getting
is this,
too
Abhijit? You
for me.
just take every opportunity to make fun of me and malign me. And what you did that day sitting with JV was horrible.
what did I do sitting with Javeer?
Screenshots were being shared.
What?
They're not going to be shared with anything.
What kind of yeah?
That is so shady, AIM. That is so shady. Anyone who shares screenshots is shady. I'm sorry. It could be anybody.
So
Suhail is in
nothing.
Surat today.
Now,
Why are you telling us? He's sitting in Surat.
I'm in
I
Ahmedabad.
saw him putting it on Facebook.
So much for your knowledge. Ahmedabad and Surat are two
Ahmedabad,
different cities.
Gujarat.
It's just like you and a
Gujarat
water
he
buffalo.
so I'm
Gujarat is
sitting in
Gujarat.
the. So I just got out of the pond in Jind where Pallavi and her twin sister were born, and I spent my childhood with Pallavi.
This is racist comment. This is a
How
comment on my color.
how you're Haryanvi, you're North Indian. I'm the water buffalo. I'm black. See this discrimination against black people. Anyway,
I just want
let's get to.
one second. I just want the two of you to know that we have a regular viewer called Nitin Tokus who wants to sue both of you for defamation. Okay?
Yeah,
I just
not
want to
me.
say
He wants
that.
to sue
And
Abhijit.
Nitin, it has nothing
No,
to
he
do
wants
with
to
me.
sue
I
Abhijit.
do not approve of this. Thank you very much. Please.
He wants to sue Abhijit,
Okay,
not me.
but let's talk about Rahul. Now, see, the thing is, if you look at the demographics of India, about 55 to 60% of India was born after Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi died. Okay, they have no memory of these people. Even assume the guys who were like 4, 5 when, say, Rajiv Gandhi died would have no cognitive memory of what it was to live under Rajiv Gandhi. So they have grown up not knowing, like Suhail said, they know who Mahatma Gandhi is because of the books and the indoctrination in your history classes. But they have no idea who Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi were. So this Rahul Gandhi is totally alien to a whole 55-60% of the population, because they're hanging on to an idea of India that makes no sense to the majority of the population anymore. It is no longer a family welding the country together based idea of India. It is an India that has fragmented into different parts and it's reformed into different parts. Right? So now what's happening is, what has Rahul Gandhi achieved in Surat today? It's just a reiteration of what the court said when it convicted him, that bail is granted, there is a stay on the implementation of the order, etc., etc. Has anything new come out of it? Is it any great victory? No. Okay, it's just the status quo continuing as was pronounced on the day the order was announced. Number two, what's happened is, where is the public reaction? We were told that in Bharat Jodo Yatra, there was a great mobilization of popular opinion and this and that, and great goodwill had been created for the party, la-di-da. Why are people not coming out on the streets to support Rahul Gandhi? Have we seen any major protests? Apparently in Surat, some 15-20 people rocked up to do a rail roko. Nobody came, so they had chaat and jaljeera and they left.
Really?
So where? Yeah, a Congress worker there told me.
Oh God.
So you tell me
I think the problem
where?
is bigger.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
No, I
Where
finished
are
the
you?
point I was making. Pallavi, you go ahead.
Glass house or mirror?
Please, I'm at the Constitution Club. Sandip, please. So I'll tell you the thing. The thing is, just let's forget that we are journalists or political observers. Just look at it from the point of view of, say, the common man or people who, who are just watching the developments. So you see the two of them, they land, they are on the first seat of the Indigo Airlines, fair enough. And the whole, almost the aircraft, because I know one of our reporters was on the aircraft, the whole aircraft was booked by them. They come out of the airport, they get into this swanky Volvo bus, and they're all sitting in the bus, refreshments served and all that. Then they are waking at the people,
Not
they're
Volvo,
waving, and they were waving at the people who were like standing on the roadside, who obviously must have been told to stand there, the workers. You have three chief ministers who've left their work for a 10-minute appearance at that court in Surat. You had top-notch leaders of the Congress party very much there on a day when Parliament is going on, when there's supposed to be hangama. This looked like completely two entitled people. Actually, one, that's Rahul Gandhi. It looked horrible. I know the Congress is going to criticize me because I'm sure they're watching the show and then they're going to say, you only have a problem with the Congress party. But there's some things you just have to got to do right. On one hand, you tell us that he's like any ordinary person in the party, or, look at him, he stands in the line, which is nice, which is fine. But then you go and do such things. It's such a contradiction. Second is, like you are going to court. You don't even need to go to court personally. But you decide you go to court. But so much of tamasha, so much of fanfare, so many people turned up at court. The party workers turned up, not because they feel something about it. Apart from the party workers and the bureaucrats, who were the people who were there? There were people who were not interested. They were just wondering, what is this happening over there? And now what's going to happen? For a 5-minute appearance, he comes back. The next thing I know, he sat on a bus, he took the aircraft, he comes back. And now 13th is the next hearing, he's exempted from personal appearance. What have you gained out of it? See, at the end of the day, you do these things because you want to gain something politically. Either you enthuse your cadre. I have my doubts. That's in a state like Gujarat, where you did not even bother to campaign during the elections. Then, you don't have your party workers around there. You have chief ministers who obviously have other things to do. You look entitled traveling in those big buses. It did not make sense. And you invited criticism, and then you're going to have a problem if the BJP or anyone for that matter criticizes you, for being entitled. And lastly, the point is that why is it that you do this only when it comes to the Gandhis? You say that inka koi position nahi hai, they have no lust for power, they believe in renunciation, they've done so much of sacrifice. He could have gone there quietly, but naturally the BJP is going to make this comparison that when Narendra Modi was the chief minister and the sitting CM, he goes to the SIT all alone and he comes out and he just waves at the camera. Look at the stark difference in those two pictures. So I think it was a bad thing, but I was very shocked when I came to know last night that they are all going to Surat. अरे जेल जा रहा होता तो मुझे समझ में आता है हियरिंग के लिए वो भी अपील फाइल करने.
But I disagree with Abhijit on one point. I'm just putting across a counterpoint of view, Abhijit. The point that you are saying, half of India being, having been born after Rajiv Gandhi becoming prime minister, can actually be a matter of advantage for them. Because, the myth which has been given about martyrdom, about Indira Gandhi and the entire family, what these people hear are only that. Just like people believe it was the Nehru family and they have brought independence to India. It's actually, the problem is people post 75 don't know what emergency was, or they don't really know how Rahul Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi, mismanaged Sri Lanka, and that he was not killed made an Indian martyr. It was for a foreign cause for another country who came and killed him. None of them know.
Yeah.
And people only hear about that bit. That, like Priyanka Gandhi saying yesterday, which I think Pallavi tweeted, that saying that हमारा ये खून क्या शहीदों का खून है शरीर में, and all that. That is the rhetoric people are young kids are hearing, because they're not hearing any counter narrative.
Fair point. I accept that. But we'll see that during the elections, because I'm very much giving you what I'm seeing sitting from my vantage point and what my, cronies and minions and associates and whatever are telling me. So I'm basically seeing a total disconnect. And
Pallavi's point also is entirely valid. That is where they're over, I think, overestimating or miscalculating the whole thing, that this kind of a spectacle or visual is going to create that Indira Gandhi moment of her going to jail post emergency. That is
Okay, now
where
let me give you a perspective. Screw all that. Let me give you the perspective that I see.
Language.
Screw
Language.
is fine.
Advaita.
Screw is fine. You use the F word. You're
Screw
telling
is
me about
fine.
screw.
Yeah,
Kindergarten.
exactly.
Now let me give you a perspective which has never
Pot
been
kettle,
given by
etc.,
anyone.
etc.
Advaita, keep quiet. Here's the perspective. I can tell you Rahul Gandhi is doing this for two audiences, the Congress and the BJP. Take it from me. Why the Congress? To tell people that, look, जो भी तुम कहो, मालिक हम हैं, CEO खड़गे है. Number one. Number two, the BJP, for all its so-called bravado, actually gets rattled by Rahul Gandhi. When he said Soot Boot ki Sarkar, for 2 years there were no reforms. BJP needs Rahul Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi needs BJP. You remember Ajit the villain? He used to say, isko liquid oxygen do. Liquid isko jeene nahi dega, oxygen isko marne nahi dega. Rahul Gandhi is India's liquid oxygen. The voter doesn't give a monkey's toss. He doesn't really care. He has no idea and he thinks ye roz ek koi na koi drama ho raha hai. So today what we are seeing is Nukkad theatre being performed by Rahul Gandhi and intermittently by the BJP. Because that's what it's become. It's become a spectacle. For someone unemployed and still determining which state she belongs to, it's great fodder because you can do a show every evening based on this. But the tragedy is, I'm telling you.
See, I told you, na, Advaita.
1 minute, 1 minute.
I
Hey, listen.
want
Hey,
Rahul
Pallavi,
Gandhi to come on
you
the
don't
show.
be the great reconciler of the human faith. When we need your advice, we'll rattle your cage. I'm only saying something very severe. Trust me, this whole drama is being played for each other. They feed off each other. The BJP and the Congress are like the proverbial elephant sleeping with a human being. You never know when the pleasure will turn into pain when the elephant rolls over. So they're testing the waters. And I'm telling you, this is exactly what it is. Now let's imagine a world without Rahul Gandhi.
Oh no.
No, in the sense, what would the
Huh.
BJP do? Who would they fight? Mamta, they can't fight. Because if they had the courage to fight Mamta, they would have stopped the violence in Bengal.
No, she would beat them up. Na? She is beating them
Whatever.
up.
See, I don't want to get into all of that. Point I'm making is, the reality is this is a closed user group theatrical performance. The voter is unmoved, untested, and this is unrequited love qua the voter. So this is an analysis you have to understand.
Okay, Sandip, quick question. Suhail says two audience. Is there a third as well, which is the international audience? Because
I
this
was
past week
going to
we've
say
seen
that.
the Americans say something, we've seen the Germans say something. Of course, Rahul Gandhi had a lot to say in Cambridge. So isn't that also a very viable audience who
I
has
would
said
think
they
so.
are watching? So hence, when they are watching, let's put on this big thing.
I would think
Yeah,
so.
you're right.
Well, left that out. I think that is a very key audience for Rahul Gandhi. But the problem is a question of relevance. You see, the problem
Absolutely. It's
is
an irrelevant audience.
so they look at the foreign audience, they look at the Twitter audience. You just imagine yesterday that little April Fool graphic which they put up, that X number of days the Indian entire nation has been fooled. And that is April Fool. No, why are you impressed by that? It is the Twitter audience, and there'll be clap between their own echo chambers, and that too echo chamber is just 4 or 5, not even the larger Congress crowd. It is the few of them who are in the social media circuit will say, "Oh, very smart, this Teen Mandar or whosoever may have created that." So that is the problem. They are, लोग बोलते हैं कहीं निशाने कहीं क्या बोलते हो आप तो निगाहें
कहीं
etc.
पे
कहीं
निगाहें, कहीं पे
निगाहें,
निशाना.
कहीं निशाना. हिंदी भी नहीं
Sandeep, if
आती
you
इन
can't
लोगों
speak
को,
English, if you
Yeah,
can't
sir,
speak
I'm a
Hindi, you
good
should not
Bengali
speak,
listener.
No,
I
please
don't
don't blame it on the Bengali thing. Oh, in Hindi, English, bad.
Okay, fine. So that is the problem. But Advaita, before we move on to the other thing, not now, you need to discuss about the Modi reaction, about what he said, that we or these things. How is BJP reacting? Whether Rahul is handing it over to them, or how it is happening? I think we need to spend a little time on that as well.
Today the Prime Minister was at the CBI, the social media thing. And look, he chose the day. It's very interesting. He knew Rahul Gandhi is going to go there. And what did he say? He said that CBI has to deal with powerful people. And I tell them, don't be scared because you are an independent agency. So, somewhere he kept on it. He says, bhai, bhatija, wad, in sab ka samna aapko karna padega. But don't be scared. Just do your work. And also that, you'll get a lot of bad press. You'll get a lot of attacks from the opposition or some political parties. He didn't use the word opposition. कुछ दल, कुछ नेता आपको और भाई भतीजावाद के चलते आपको बुरा भला कहेंगे, but you should keep on doing your work. See, this was clearly aimed at the opposition. Today, frankly speaking, the Congress could have avoided what they did today. I mean, I can understand when the ED was investigating, thoda bahut aapne drama kiya, wo mujhe samajh mein aaya. If he was going to jail, God forbid, for them, then I can understand. Or if there's any other problem. But not this. Not on disqualification, not on eviction. The other strategy I just don't get. I don't. 1 minute, sir. Sorry, 1 second. Huh? Only thing I don't get is why the hell are they doing this whole campaign ki mera ghar or har ghar Rahul Gandhi ka? Most of the people in the country, a large chunk of the people in the country don't have a house of their own. वो बेघर हो जाते हैं, lease goes away. And here is this man living in an official sprawling bungalow and the party is making a big deal about it. Actually, look at Priyanka, she was much better. No, Priyanka was much better. When she was asked to vacate, chupchap wo chhod ke chali gayi na. He should also do the same. His party is actually making it look bad.
He's absolutely intellectually innocent. Now let me tell you what I would have done in his case. I would have first gone and walked out of this house and told people that I don't want this whole empathy. But they can't do it. You see, it's the feudal mindset. They want the darbaris to say, nahi ji, aap mera ghar le lo. Nahi ji, aap mere bacche le lo. That's how they want it. The second is that Rahul Gandhi is obviously bereft of any strategic intervention. So is the BJP. Now let me tell you what I would have done. Had I been Prime Minister, I would have actually asked the Attorney General of India to go to Surat and on behalf of the government say that we do not want Rahul Gandhi disqualified, that we want you to stay the order. I'll tell you what would have happened. Across the world, everyone would have said, this guy is a true Democrat. Rahul Gandhi's only agenda is to continuously aggravate to such a situation, to such a level, where democracy becomes his toolkit and plaything. His constant attack on individuals almost always goes into, but democracy is under threat. Wait, how has he become the savior of democracy? That families never had democracy. The parties never had democracy. So how's he become the savior? Today, because the narrative on the BJP level is not wise and strategic, people are saying, हाँ भाई, यही है democracy का savior. So it's the conundrum.
No, it's not really, because I think the BJP cannot make an exception for Rahul Gandhi. Then it's basically doing the same thing, which is feeding his privilege. So I don't think
I'm not,
can do that.
I'm not saying,
Even for a narrative.
Even for Rahul Gandhi, it would have been for the law, for that whole structure.
Yeah. Sandeep, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
No, I think what BJP's narrative after this will come is, see, he's out on bail on so many cases, he's out on bail on another case. And that is how it will keep on going. And they will wait. But I have a feeling that you'll see now the ante being upped considerably going forward on multiple fronts, not just against this one set of people, but at a larger. That is will be Modi's run up to 2024.
But will it? Because right now, there is this thing in Maharashtra next door, for example, where NCP has clearly come out and said that we don't agree with what he's been saying, Rahul Gandhi again, about Savarkar. And as we speak, there is a Gaurav Yatra being taken out by Devendra
But Pawar
Fadnavis.
said it to Sonia Gandhi at that opposition
Yeah.
meeting, after which they had to, she stood by her son saying these is ideological issues. Then they decided that, okay, we are not going to attack Savarkar. Sanjay Raut went to parliament. In fact, Rahul Gandhi went to parliament just to be Sanjay Raut the next day. The same thing would happen after the following of the ordinance. Boss, the mistake that they're going to make it is in Karnataka, Rahul is going back to the same Kollar region where he made that comment. And he's going to have a little bit of a yatra. Now over there, जाके वो अदानी को गाली देगा, ये सब करेगा. He'll make it a national election, which suits the BJP, na? BJP wants to make it Modi versus Rahul Gandhi. That will be the huge mistake. Himachal में क्यों वो लोग जीते? Apart from the cyclical pattern, they were very smart. They kept RG away. Second thing, all senior leaders of the Congress were largely away, barring Priyanka. But then she has a home there, so she used that angle. But they were only focusing on local leaders, local issues. Karnataka में till now the Congress का campaign is pretty good. Local issues, local leaders. But Rahul Gandhi जाके अगर वहाँ अदानी JPC किया, BJP will make it into a national election. And national election में BJP will always have that edge. I don't know why I have this feeling that it is not a done deal in Karnataka. ये जो लोग बोल रहे हैं Congress will sweep, I'm not so sure of that yet. Picture अभी बाकी है.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, as many people as there were outside the Surat courthouse, there were as many people outside a Congress MLA aspirant, a leader's house in Karnataka, who were protesting and saying that he needs to be given a ticket, assembly ticket. So, they're
Meeting है ना
definitely.
इनका.
हाँ.
Now Siddaramaiah
So they
को
were
देखो, he
just
wants to contest from Kollar.
So it's not that easy. And this Savarkar thing is something that's definitely blowing up in Maharashtra. I mean, I think Uddhav Thackeray is hugely losing his credibility as a Hindutva party by staying mum on it, even when NCP has spoken up. So anyway, that's a whole other matter, which leads us into the other topic that we want to discuss today, which is, I think, far more serious, and that is this Ram Navami violence, which has struck across multiple states, West Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and the list goes on. Telangana, the list just goes on. And it's alarming how regular these have become and almost happen every year. And yet, we are not able to call it for what it really is, which is a sort of aggressive assertion which targets Hindu festivals. And Abhijit, we'll start with you on this one.
Look, this is going to get worse. Let's be clear about it. Okay? Now, we're pretty much taking on where we left off yesterday. I said what I had to yesterday, but now what you're going to see is this is a polarization game that the other side loves to play, especially the only way in Bihar, especially that you can get votes, is polarization. Remember, Nitish became second fiddle to the BJP in the last election. We all remember that?
Yeah.
Right. Again, in Bengal, the BJP has now been rebuilding. In Bengal, what's been happening is Mamta Di decimated the BJP. And since then, they've removed command from the North Indians that they deputed out there, and they've given back this thing for they've given pretty much command to Shubhendu
Guess who
Adhikari.
walked in front of me? Anil walked in front of me.
Anil, say hi to Anil.
I'm at a Constitution
Anil
Club.
Anthony.
I'm at a Constitution Club, guys. This is where the MPs come. I'm outside.
Yeah, so don't give us. We don't give a toss. You're the Constitution.
You're the one who goes on flaunting on Facebook. You're in London. You're in Dubai. I don't do that.
Because I am in London.
Childish.
You're sitting in your loo.
देखो लंदन और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्लब में बहुत फर्क पड़ता है.
Yes, Anil.
No, but Constitution Club is a bit like a loo, no? It's a bit like a glorified public toilet.
Oh, it's the Anil. Anil is here.
It's very
Which
swanky
Anil?
and it's very nice. Okay, you
अरे कहाँ का
stand
swanky
next
है?
to me, Anil, like this, yeah.
This is that election you lost. This is the election, not that you lost.
Just how badly behaved you people.
Oh, this is Anil. So you're making it sound as if Anil Kapoor was here. This is a young man.
She seems to be picking all locations.
Yeah,
Disgusting
this
people
is
they are, yeah.
You can join
This
the
is
club.
the-
Why don't you sit for 15 minutes?
This is the young Malu version of Anil Kapoor. See, same beard and muche and everything.
Hi, how are you?
He doesn't. He
Hi.
really thinks
Oh,
very
now he
badly
can
behaved,
hear
and he's
us.
watching you
Now.
people.
Yeah.
We were discussing the Surat showdown, the great battle of Surat that is taking place right now in the country. We were discussing that.
Acha, guys, I have a plane to catch, so tata bye.
Even I
Oh,
have. I have to go. We all have
You
work
don't
to
have
do.
any plane to catch. You must be catching Ola.
Yeah.
yeah, really. I mean, like, where is he
Shut up.
going? Suddenly, he just got
Obnoxious
home.
character you are.
With catch.
You
Yes, go
sound
ahead,
entitled
Anil.
like Rahul Gandhi, Sohail. What's wrong in a Ola, yeah? Okay, bye.
He's an Uber guy.
See you. I was just coming to a little chit chat.
Oh, but coming
see
back
you
to the
around.
topic.
Okay.
Coming back to the topic.
Oh, yeah.
Suhail,
Yeah,
there
I'll
was
catch
this
you up, yeah. I'm here tomorrow. You're here tomorrow?
terrible
I'll drop you a
case
WhatsApp because I'm here tomorrow
in
for everything.
Bihar, wherein we had this young man, Gulshan Kumar, who was going to get groceries during a time when there was Section 144, and it was quite a terrible situation. He was going to get groceries with his older brother, who's 26 years old, and he was following him. And behind the local mosque, it seems that I guess some sort of sniper, or I don't know. I mean, these thugs that roam around pulled out his gun and shot him in the head and killed him on the spot, although he survived for a little bit and was begging his brother that please save me, please save me. And this was after the Ram Navami violence in that area, Nalanda. And the whole area is tense now. So there have been some very tragic things that have also come. Sometimes you get caught up in the politics of it, but somebody who is just not involved in any way, just going out to get groceries, young chap, 18 years old, gets caught up in this and loses his life. In Bengal, they are picking up people who were in office or were coming back from office, had nothing to do with being in the Ram Navami. First of all, according to the BJP, they're picking up people from the Ram Navami celebrations and focusing entirely on that and picking up people who were in office and things like that, a lot of them. Mamta has gone on to say that this was a provocation. This Ram Navami procession is a provocation. So it's actually a very disturbing and saddening thing that is happening in so many parts of the country, and it seems to happen at every Ram Navami. And now there's fear with Hanuman Jayanti coming up that there will be a repeat of some sort of violence.
Let me tell you some disheartening facts. This country is now going to see the kind of communal violence you haven't seen in a long, long time. Those days are back, and I'll tell you why. Communalism has its base and its edifice lies in the political machinations of the political landscape, not caused by citizens alone. It's politicians who use lumpen elements to start all this. And the sad bit is the state or the center is not snuffing them out with the vociferousness that they deserve.
Yeah.
If Bengal, the violence in Bengal post the elections and now more recently had been snuffed out with a firm hand, you wouldn't see the recurrence, but you're going to see it recur. It's going to recur with greater finality, with greater vigor, and with more perniciousness. So what is the solution? The solution is, you remember we used to have TADA courts and we used to have fast track courts. You need rioters to be given exemplary punishment. In some ways, what Yogi is doing is very interesting.
He's brilliant.
Justice wheels grind slowly. You have to screw these people with swiftness. And that's the tragedy. No one is willing to be, because then you're worried, oh, log kya kahenge? लोग मर रहे हैं, लोग कहने के लायक कहाँ हैं?
Yeah. And what is really tragic, Sohail and Sandip, was that this Gulshan Kumar's father said that they have offered us 5 lakh rupees. And they said, is my son's life worth 5 lakh rupees? It's just, it was just heartbreaking to hear him, Sandip.
No, this is terrible, therefore, I am, to some extent, I've got a very apolitical view on this. I think as human beings, as citizens, we need to worry. Whosoever is fomenting it and all, I think there has to be, the common people have to rise in one voice. And the onus has to be on, irrespective of who is in administration. whichever party, they have to ensure the safety of people. And if that means coming down on any of these things heavily, as Suhail is saying, on the culprits, as well as if you see somewhere there is some kind of a conspiracy to, and the police can really stop it anywhere if they really want to. These sort of clashes cannot happen if the police.
Absolutely.
It is just that they are deliberately, inactive, or they keep hands off, look the other way because they know it's a political situation. I think that is where we all, right thinking citizens, have to be mobilized to come out in one voice. This is not on. And we've got so much going for the country just now. I was speaking on an economic show earlier. They were asking me, what is your worry about this thing? And I told them that my only worry is our people are so confused that whatever we are achieving economically, we could do so much better if we didn't have these kind of stupid distraction. Half our people are either making, working for going to courts, or making agitations which don't matter, or creating this kind of trouble. Instead of that, at this juncture, if all states work together to get investment right and the economy going, we would be doing really so much better. I think very, very misplaced priority, and all because everybody wants one person to go.
And the thing is that we have seen examples, like, for example, in UP, which saw one of the worst communal clashes in Muzaffarnagar in recent times. There has been peace. He's been tough. There have been flare-ups, but they have been cut to size and they have been quelled. Now, why is it so difficult for this to happen in other states? And I'm not going this is a BJP state, or this is an RJD, JDU state, or a TMC state. I'm not even going there. I'm just saying any state in this country, whoever governs it, you can't have innocent 18-year-olds being shot dead in the head. It just cannot happen.
Absolutely.
And that to me is exceedingly tragic, and a real failure of our society, of our politics, and all of that. And what I'm hearing right now is that there's still a very tense atmosphere, at least in Bihar and in Bengal. And I did watch some of the Bihar Assembly debates this morning. And there was just the usual kind of thing, where they were throwing charges back and forth. But the real issues at hand, which is that you have violent, armed, lumpen elements out there who have no value for human life and can pull out a gun and shoot somebody, was just not discussed. And this is the kind of mafia-esque environment that Yogi is dealing with and crushing. And frankly, he's put that, what Adhikanath is now, Suhail. I believe his job in the jail is to look after water buffaloes. There's something very satisfying about that.
Let's be honest. The playbook to win elections has been altered. Who's altered it? It was being altered over the years. In West Bengal, it had happened long ago. They've realized that they really don't care, and a few Indians dying doesn't matter to them. That's a sad commentary on who we've become. It's an even sadder commentary on our police. Have you forgotten? Now everyone's forgotten about Amritpal Singh. Everyone. The famed Punjab police can't even find this joker. The police in this country are nothing but handmaidens of the ruling class or the ruling political party. When you sacrifice all institutions at the altar of political expediency, this is what you'll get. As simple.
Yeah.
No one is holding the police accountable because it's a state subject. The Supreme Court is suo moto on most issues, but is silent on this one. Why can't the Supreme Court actually ask for the head of the police force in some of these states which are running, no pun intended, riot?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just saying, what about the intelligence? Why do you need a situation like this? And then after there has been loss of life and cruel loss of life, 17, 18-year-olds, then you're doing community peace meetings to try and bridge these gaps when there's blood on the floor. Why couldn't you do these community peace meetings prior to these festivals if you knew that there's a, and today I hate to say this, but every time there is a Ram Navami procession anywhere in this country around that time, you do hear of stone pelting in different parts of the country. It is not that unusual an occurrence. So why can't these community leaders, politicians, police, why can't they bring these people together prior to these events?
See, that's not going to do. As Suhail is saying, these riots are not done by any sane thinking or religious people. It is these lumpens who are for hire, rent a cause or rent an occasion or festival lumpenism. This happens. This has been happening from time immemorial. I think it requires political will, and it requires some degree of political integrity for people to do that. Say in West Bengal, Sohail is saying this, but in a Jyoti Basu's time, this would not have happened. This, whatever you might say, because they would these things can be very well controlled by telling the police that, okay, we don't want this nonsense, just like you're finding in other states. It's just a matter of political will. And as long as we have that politics of vote bank and people don't get out of it, there you have your politics of vote bank, but draw a line somewhere, as you are saying, of stop from killing innocent people on such occasions.
And someone is saying that, that kid had no right being out on the streets during a curfew. He went to get groceries. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? You got to eat. I mean, it's just so sad. It's just so sad. But anyway, thank you both of you for joining us and discussing this very important topic. I felt like we must discuss it because very often we are just as guilty as forgetting these people who lose their lives in such an unfair and cruel way, as much as the people who can actually save them do regularly. And for people like us who have a voice, who have platforms, it's very important that we remember Gulshan Kumars and others like him, so that at least we can question authority and let them know that we're watching and we're keeping track of this kind of senseless violence, even if it is for political gain or not. So thank you everybody for watching. Do like, share, subscribe, the usual, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, Advaita. Bye. Good night.